Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
So now we're going to do a review of Minecraft Heroes of the Village, a Minecraft family game by Ravensburger. And this is ages 7 and up. 2 to 4 players, takes about 20 to 25 minutes. Now this is a cooperative race game, so to speak, because you're racing to prevent the Illagers from taking over your village. Let's take a look at how you play before we give our positive, negatives, and neutrals, and then we'll give you our BGG rating. So when you set it up, you'll see that there is the villager tile here, and these blocks. This means you put blocks in the bag. So you put a stone, a wood, a sand, and a darkness, which is bad. You don't want that in your bag. And those are the 4 blocks you start with. And you can always look in the bag to see what blocks are in there at any time during the game. It does say that in the rules. Now you flip it over, and you'll see here is our village. And here are the Illagers, the bad guys, coming down the track. And if they ever, it's not clear in the rules, do you lose if they get to the 1 or if they get past the 1? We like to say they have to get past the 1 into the village and then you lose, but it's not clear about that. So the regular game, you put them on the 9. In the easy game, you could put them on the 11, but we're going to start them on the 9 here. And you put 3 darkness tiles on 5, 6, and 7. And you don't want darkness because when they get to the 7, you put a darkness in the bag. And why don't you want 7? Why don't want darkness tiles? Because whenever you collect blocks as an action, you can collect wood here, stone, or sand here, and you draw a darkness, you will place a mob that blocks your ability to collect blocks there. And mobs could be numbered anywhere from 4, 5, or 6. And it makes it that much difficult to defeat them. Because one of the actions you can do in the game is to fight them, and you get to roll this die 3 times. So let's say there's a mob here, and it's a 6. In order to to collect sand there, you have to defeat the mob first. You roll 3 times, got a 4, didn't get it, didn't get it, I defeated them. And then you get to draw 3 blocks out of the bag as a reward, and you get to keep 1. Now here's a chance to get rid of darkness in the bag. So if you do draw darkness, you can take a darkness as a reward and place it on your character tile here, and then you can use it as a wild. Because how do you win the game? To defeat the Illagers, you have to complete 3 buildings. Now this is the most difficult level here, 7, 8, 9. You'll see in the how to play and playthrough, that's what we played. In the 1, 2, and 3 buildings, you only have to complete 4 to 5 blocks per building. So if you can't see that on the camera too well, this is the most difficult building in the right there, because it takes 5 blocks, but that one only takes 4 blocks. And so it either says play 1, 2, or 3, okay, or 4, 5, and 6, and it's 5 to 6 blocks. In the most difficult setting, it takes 6 to 7 blocks. So you decide which ones you want to play. So you can fight mobs. And one result you can get is that you intimidate the mob. That's this symbol here, where you push them back 1 space. But if you get this symbol, the Illagers move 1 space closer. So we're continuing with setup here. This is the most difficult setting, 7, 8, 9. You're probably going to want to play with 1, 2, and 3 for the easiest setting. You have the starting blocks in the bag. You have world tiles here, and there's 18 of them, and you make 3 stacks of 6. I have too many in this tile. And you'll see there's different. When you explore, you can take one of these tiles off the top. So if my person goes right here, I can explore adjacent, either here, here, or here. And I can take any face-up stack I want. So let's say I place this one, and I explore it. I get to put a redstone in the bag. And then I flip it up, and it just adds to the decoration. Now let's say I want to explore again. I can put this one here. It's a wood and a sand. And sometimes they have things on the back that allow you to do. So let's say I actually flipped up this one. I explored this one, it was on top, and I picked this one. Now I add a sand to the bag, and there's another spot for us to collect blocks. I can collect sand there. So the 4 actions you can do with your character are explore the world, which you saw me just do. Collect blocks, so you can move into a location with the mining symbol, and you draw 3 blocks out of the bag. You can fight a mob, which I showed you, and then you can build. So let's take a look at the collect blocks action. Say Julie, and I'll go over how these characters work in a minute. Say Julie goes here and she wants to get wood. She'll draw 3 blocks out of the bag, and she gets to keep any wood she draws. So she adds it to her tile, and anytime anybody draws a redstone, you can add it to your tile if there's space. Keeping in mind that if your spots are filled up, you can't add anymore. Now, let's say, and she drew a darkness, which means a mob would be added there, blocking her ability, or my ability, to do collecting blocks in that space again, unless you defeat the mob. Now, let's say she drew this instead. Whenever you go to collect stones from blocks from a location, you get to keep as many that you can hold of that type. So if Julie drew this, she would get to keep both wood, but she has to have space for it, and she gets to keep the redstone. So that's one thing that can happen, is that you can keep more than one if you draw it. So I say that was her first action. She did get that. Okay. Let's say she just got a wood. Okay. She could go back here and start building one of these buildings, and she can work on any of the 3 she wants to, and we, as a group, we can work on all 3 at the same time, or 2 at the same time, but one is only completed when you have all blocks there. And when you do get enough blocks, the blocks stay off the board. They don't go back in the bag or anything like that. And you put it in the village, and you get to move the Illagers back 1. You intimidate them. They move back 1 space. So you want to build these buildings to win, but also to push them back. Okay, so that's building, collecting blocks, exploring, and the other one was fighting a mob.
Yep.
Now the last thing you will do, you get 2 actions every turn. The last thing that you'll do is you'll roll the Illager's die, and so there's a 50% chance that the mob will move forward on the track. See? But if you get a blank, they don't move. So that's where you can get lucky.
Yes.
So the last thing is, how do we get these characters? You'll see that you have a left side and a right side, and you have a pet companion. Now, pet companions give you different abilities. You'll see that there's different ones here. You have a wolf, a llama, a horse, and a panda. I have the cat, and Julie has the fox. So if you didn't see that on here, you can see it's really cute.
It's just so cute.
Okay. And there's enough, there's extra pieces here. There's 6 of them, even though you can only play this with 4 players. Just like you have extra people that you can pick from too.
I like that.
Yeah, it gives you some more choices.
It does, especially with the pet companions.
Right. So if you want to know what the pet companions do, it talks about it right here.
What page is that, babe?
The wolf does different things, and the cat. So that is page 7 in the English rules, because this is a multi-language rule book.
Oh.
So the cat, for me, when I draw out of the bag, if I draw a darkness, I can ignore the first darkness I draw,
Nice.
which prevents a mob. Julie has the fox. When she's collecting blocks, she can take an additional block of the type that she's not going for. So in other words, if she's going for wood right here, and she drew this, she gets the wood, adds it to her tile, but then she can keep the sand or the stone. So she's able to get blocks faster. And the other ones do different things. So, for instance, the panda, when you're performing a fight mob action, roll the fight die. They are protected against the first mob symbol, so they won't move forward on the track. The horse, you may lay out 2 world tiles when exploring, so you explore quicker. The llama has 1 more inventory slot for block storage. It can be used for any material, including redstone.
Wow.
And then the wolf, the player performing the fight, a mob action, rolls the fight die, but adds 1 to the result. So a 4 is a 5, a 5
That's
is
pretty
6.
cool.
Yeah. All right, so that's how you play. And you win if you prevent the Illagers from getting, I don't know on the rules, either to the 1 or past the 1, and you build the 3 buildings before they get there.
Yep.
And if you want to know what these stands are, you can put them on there. you could put the buildings on there and it stands up like this. But for a demonstration, unless
We
we
lay
use
them down.
for this camera, you would have to go to this camera to see that.
Yep.
All right.
So now it's time to tell you our positives, negatives, and neutrals. And then after we both do it, then we will tell you what we rated it on the BGG scale.
All right. So say, look, Julie's
Here we go.
first.
All right. Excuse me. The thing I love about this the most is that it's cooperative and that it's a really fun family game. I could see when our boys were younger playing this with them. It's just super cute. I love that the pieces, the blocks are chunky. They fit good in your hand. Even the dice just feel really good because they're wood. I also think that the little standees and the little pets, they're really cute. It's just cute art. I really like it. I just find it very adorable. The art on the tiles are really nice. Now, I never played the video game, so I do wonder if fans of the video game will feel that this is enough game for them, if it'll hold their interest a long time. Again, I've never played the video game. I've seen it on YouTube, but I couldn't tell you how to play it on there. That's one of my only concerns is if...
What's a neutral? You're not sure.
I'm not sure. And I'm also neutral on if you could use a reference card, especially with the pet standee or pet companions, as to what they do. Even though it says it on here, it might get just a little confusing.
Yeah, it does have symbols for what they do.
Mm-hmm. And also...
But it would be nice to have a reference card that explains
for that,
it.
and also the 4 actions that you can do.
Right. In fact, there's like little rules you can... So they should have a reference card for this. Here are the 4 actions. And then little notes about when you're drawing out of the bag that you can keep you can keep a redstone when you draw, what happens when you get a darkness. And then here when you're fighting a mob, you get to draw 3 blocks, and you can keep the darkness as a wild when you draw it. So that's defeating the mob. So it's just like, I mean, it's not hard, but there's little things that you can miss.
And again, it's a neutral for me because some people will be like, oh, it's not a big deal. You can just look in the rule book. Or, we've played this enough times, we know. And that's fine. I'm just thinking in the beginning, when you're first getting this game, it might have been a little useful.
Right.
But
so you'll see we'll have some similar things here.
Okay.
So it's thematic, cooperative, tower defense building game. So
I didn't think about
tower
that.
defense is a term like Castle Panic. You're trying to prevent the bad guys from overrunning you. That's what that term means. Okay. So tower defense.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's fun to play with the right amount of tension and cool companions.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean is that young people won't feel overwhelmed, especially if you're playing the easy setting. In fact, it might even be too easy, which you'll get to a later comment here. So they're going to feel the effects of mobs blocking them. And we had some, because if you don't roll well, they'll be moving forward. We almost lost.
Yep.
The first time we played the difficult setting because we weren't rolling well. They were moving pretty far.
They were moving
but it was a
fast.
good tension. It was fun. It didn't feel like there's some cooperative games you played that are so difficult. You're like, we might as well quit.
Yeah.
We didn't feel like we were
no.
quitting.
I liked it.
I like the fact that there's enough choices here, options, and that it's not so tight that you must do this to win. That it's less of an alpha gamer issue. So what happens in cooperative games is that it's so difficult that you better do this or we're going to lose type of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Here, there's enough flexibility where you can let a young person make decisions and you don't have to worry about it like you're going to lose because it happens.
Yeah.
Now, at some point, you're going to help guide a young person.
Oh, definitely.
Look, your inventory's full. You shouldn't be collecting any more blocks because you can't fill it. You can't put any more on there.
Right.
Or, they are down lower. Maybe or the bag is not a lot in the bag. Maybe we should collect blocks. You give suggestions, but it's not like a must-die thing. Now, it could be things you do that aren't smart. Like I said, if your inventory is full, you don't want to necessarily collect blocks.
No.
Okay? And there's not enough in the bag, you better get some more. You better explore some more.
That's funny. It's true.
So that's the good thing about this cooperative game. Now, the decent component quality, the cardboard is thick enough. If the biomes game, the tiles were very thin. The Builders and Biomes game that you see behind us, this had, I gotta go to the right camera. this game here, the pieces were pretty cheap. Some of the pieces are very thin.
Really?
No, they got a lot of blocks. Maybe that's why they had to do that.
That could be.
Sorry, I
That's
didn't
okay,
mean
honey.
to bop you there.
That's all right.
We haven't played Portal
No problem.
Dash yet,
Oops,
but
I'm in my head so you can see it.
we haven't played that one yet. But this, compared to Builders and Biomes, the quality is more consistent. It's going to hold up more to frequent play.
Right.
Could be tricky to play correctly. Again, it needs reference cards. There's like little rules buried in there that unless you play it enough, I can see, for instance, down the road, when we play this again, I like, how does that work again? It'd be better to have a reference card. They don't have to reread the rules.
I agree.
And it could get competitive. Is there enough gamers?
Being repetitive?
Yeah, it could get repetitive, yes.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
It's the same thing that you said. Will a Minecraft player like this game enough? For me, whether you're a Minecraft player enough, is there enough game here? Is it going to be too samey, in other words?
Oh, see, I didn't think of it at that point with my comment. I just meant like...
But it's related.
Yeah.
I think a young person will have more tolerance for playing the same game over again. Just like when you're younger, you're going to play Uno a lot.
Sure.
There's young people that play Monopoly and they don't know there's better games than Monopoly.
Right.
Okay, it doesn't mean Monopoly is a terrible game. It's just there's better games than it. So a young person might be like, hey, I want to play this again because it reminds them of the video game. But for an adult, it may be like, I'll play it because my child wants to play it, but I don't know if I would choose it necessarily.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get to our rating now.
Okay. Oh, wow. You said very good, and I said good.
Well, I said actually 7.5. It's in between good.
Oh, okay.
See, I think this is a solid system. And if we had our children were younger,
Yep.
they would probably like to play this a lot.
Exactly. And I could picture myself playing this with them when they were little.
Now, as an adult now, I don't know how often we're going to play it because it seems to be getting kind of easy.
Yeah.
But I do recommend this. And as a cooperative game, if I want to do a tower defense game and build stuff, this is cool.
Yeah.
Because Castle Panic, for instance, you just defend. There's no building.
Right.
Really, okay. There's some tower defense games where you're just fighting bad guys,
Oh,
but you're not really building.
Right.
So that's cool that it combines that. And I think it does give you an idea, convey that you are, doing Minecraft. You're building things to ward off the bad guys.
I think this would be an okay game to play. Like if we're getting, it's like, oh, let's just play one more game that's not going to make our brains hurt. I think this would be an okay one. I mean, I'd be willing to play it because it doesn't make your brain hurt. You're not straining to, remember how to do things, especially if we've played it recently. But you're right. If you said, Julie, what game would you want to play? I don't know if this would come straight to my mind.
Well, you said you're usually willing to play.
I am willing to play it. I just don't know if I would suggest it because I don't think I would think of it right away.
That's why I'm in between.
That's my point. I would definitely play it if you suggested it. I'd be like, oh, heck yeah, I'll do it.
Because we've played it 3 times. And we've won all 3 times.
Yes, we
One of
have.
them we almost lost.
Yeah, last
My
night.
rating might drop if it's too easy. And now if an expansion comes out, now this game...
Isn't that what those are?
No, they're all separate games.
Oh.
I think this game needs an expansion to add difficulty and add more variety to it.
Okay.
Then my rating would probably stay the same or even go up.
Well, what would you think would be a good thing to add to it, though? Like harder tiles?
I don't know what they'd have to add to it. All I know is that right now, as a cooperative game, it's cool.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many plays, though, we would get out of it before our rating drops and we're like, okay, we'll play in the mood at 6. Right now, as a cooperative game, we'll consider this over other cooperative games.
Yeah.
But it could be, I'm thinking that it might not hold up to additional plays. 1, because it seems kind of too easy. And 2, I don't know if there's enough game here.
Yeah.
So the rating could drop. But I think it does need an expansion to hold the interest over time.
That would be cool. I would definitely like to see that.
Because Builders and Biomes, I think, has, 2, at least 1 expansion.
Oh, really? Already in the box?
No.
Oh.
We don't own it yet, but they have expansions
I
for it.
see. Okay.
So I think this one would need one. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, if you're, show the how to play and play through to the young person you're thinking of getting this for, and ask them if they think it looks like fun.
I think they might, especially if they play. I don't know how old you have to be to play the video game of this. I don't know if is it on like the PS4?
I'm not too sure what system. It's definitely on PC.
I know, but my point is that depending on how little they are to start playing it on the computer, they might want to try this first before they start the computer. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know which way to go on that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of the chicken and the egg.
I think show your child how to play and play through. See if it looks like something that would be interesting to them. Because nothing like if they're really into the video game and they're like, I don't want to play with Dad. I'd rather play the video game. Or Mom, I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
You know, it just depends.
That's true.
But hey, you have this video.
Yep. Hope it helps you.
And the how to play and play through video to help you make your decision.
We really appreciate you guys watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.